Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Mercedes. In today's video, I have two new collections to share with you all from Painted Polish. Show you a place where you gon' wanna move your feet. These two new collections will be launching January 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Painted Polish is getting ready for Valentine's Day with these polishes. The entire collection is called Booked for Love, and they are inspired by book covers, specifically romance book covers, but they're broken down in two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is inspired by the lovely A Court of Thorns and Roses, all of the 5 books, the book covers for these books. I immediately knew as soon as I got these polishes and I started swatching, and actually I saw the names and I was like, I know this is an ACOTAR inspired collection just off of the names. Obsessed with that series, absolutely obsessed. And then part 2 is also inspired by book covers, but they are a curated version of different romance books. One of them being from Fourth Wing, which I am absolutely obsessed with that series as well. I just finished the 3rd book in that series called Onyx Storm. Now, just in Painted Polish fashion, these polishes have all sorts of different color variations, but the components, the ingredients in the polish and all of that are similar, but the colors and the bases are different, of course. I personally love that in polishes, in a collection. I love, I know I say this in all of my Painted Polish videos and probably other videos as well, is that if I get a shirt and I really love that color, I like to get it in a different color. It's just, I like that. And for polishes, I'm the same way. Painted Polish always does these sorts of collections where you get a specific polish that is a color with components, and then you get another polish that's a different color with either similar components or the same components. We will also be getting a bonus polish. This is a charity polish. This polish was created to support the victims of the recent LA fires. 50% of the proceeds will be going to a foundation. I will leave all the information and all of that below, the specific foundation and all of that. All right, so let's get into these lovely swatches. First up, we have Feelin Thorny. This one's inspired by the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, the book cover. So all of these are book cover inspired. It features black and crushed gold metallic flakies and a foil red crelly base. And my, look at that first coat. Oh my goodness, it is so opaque. Not enough for me to consider it a one coater. Maybe for some people, but I felt like that second coat just really brought that beautiful red color to life. I've always found that Painted Polish formulations have always been very consistent, even polishes I have purchased in the past before I started swatching for them. This one I feel like has a little dash of pink in there, which I personally love. It is a very bright color, perfect for Valentine's Day. Perfect for a pop of color in the winter, in the summertime. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. Absolutely loved this polish. I loved the formulation, the components, all of that. And on top of it, the nostalgia that this is bringing with this book series is just, it's grabbing my heart hard. So we're looking at 2 coats of Feelin Thorny. The next one is Fury and Fantasy, and this one's inspired by A Court of Mist and Fury, the 2nd book. And if you weren't completely obsessed with the 1st book, then I'm sure you're obsessed, or you were obsessed with the 2nd book. This one features black, silver, and crushed gold metallic flakies and a medium aquamarine crelly base. So on that first coat, we definitely go on crelly-like. I love how we're getting that checkerboard slash speckled look with this polish. I really enjoyed the contrast with this one because we were working with such a lighter base. Those components really do pop on the nail. You can see on the second coat we built up gloriously. I thought with this one, with it being more of a crellier consistency, on that first coat we, had some nail bed that we could see. I thought I was going to need a 3rd coat, but nope, 2 coats was fantastic. Honestly, 2 coats for everybody would be just fine. Same thing with the previous polish as well. I like how we still get a full opaque look, but we still get that very squishy vibe from the crelly formulation. Pictured are 2 coats of Fury and Fantasy with a glossy top coat. The third polish is Ruinous Romance. This one is from our third book, A Court of Wings and Ruin. This one features black and crushed gold metallic flakes and a deep fuchsia crelly base. Again, fantastic formulation. You can see on that first coat we get amazing coverage. There's no running, there's no pulling so far with any of these polishes. I had this annoying little fuzzy that you guys can see that just was like in the way, but I dealt with that. The second coat we get full coverage. These metallic, like the metallic flakies in here, they look almost like rose gold, but I think that's our eyes playing, or my eyes playing tricks on me, because of the more like fuchsia purpley base that is sort of like contrasting, and it looks a little more rose gold, which I think it looks really pretty against this vibrant shade. But enjoyed this one very much. Beautiful color for the spring and the summertime. We're looking at 2 coats of Ruinous Romance with the glossy top coat. Next up is Frosty Flirtation, and this one's inspired by the book cover A Court of Frost and Starlight. This one also features black, silver, and crushed gold metallic flakies and a celestial blue crelly base. This one, I love this shade of blue so much. I always feel like it looks amazing on my tanner skin. It's like that medium blue where I feel like you can wear at any time during the year, especially like spring and summer, when you want something more pastel like. And then in the winter, if you just want to like add some color to your nails, and then just obviously sometimes the winter is just dreary, so you want to add some color back, right? But fantastic formula. Again, we built up gloriously in 2 coats. In this polish you can tell the gold flakies are definitely gold. The black flakies are so pretty. They're there, but they're like, they take a back seat, and the color for this polish is what's standing forefront. Really enjoyed it. Pictured our 2 coats of Frosty Flirtation with the glossy top coat. And the last polish in the Booked for Love Part 1 collection is Flames of Fancy. And this one is inspired by our 5th book cover, A Court of Silver Flames. It features black and silver, crushed gold metallic flakies, and a carrot orange crelly base. Again, beautiful formulation. On that first coat we get amazing coverage. I love how this orange is sort of like muted in a sense. Like, it's not your typical like bright orange pumpkin, or bright pumpkin orange I should say, but it still is very flattering. A polish where I can see myself again wearing it in the fall or wearing it in the summertime, because I feel like it just has that right tone of orange in there. I built up beautifully in 2 coats. All of the components work gloriously in here. It's giving me a little bit of Halloween vibes too, just because of those black flakies against the orange base, but nonetheless, beautiful, beautiful polish. And of course, like, the inspiration. I'm telling you guys, this collection got my heart. We're looking at 2 coats of Flames of Fancy with the glossy top coat. Now we are moving on to part 2 of the collection, the Booked for Love collection. This one is Lakeside Love, and it's inspired by the book Meet Me by the Lake by Carly Fortune. I have not read that, but you guys let me know if I need to. This one features red, purple, and crushed gold metallic flakies and a raspberry pink crelly base. This one I definitely see me wearing this for like Valentine's Day, February, or in the springtime. I love the addition of the like red and the purple metallic flakies. They look so pretty in this like pinker, more like, actually I know this is like, it says it's raspberry pink, but I feel like it's like mauve, or like a dusty shade of pink with some purple in there. Would that be considered raspberry? I don't know, but it's a beautiful shade. Definitely a springtime polish for me, definitely Valentine's Day, and I thought it was really, really flattering against my skin tone. I think my favorite part of this polish definitely has to be those purple gold metallic flakies. They look so pretty in this polish. We're looking at 2 coats of Lakeside Love with a glossy top coat. Next up we have Stop In the Name of Love. This one's inspired by One Last Stop, the book written by Casey McQuiston. I don't know if I said that correctly, but this one features black, red, purple, and crushed gold metallic flakies and an opera mauve crelly base. This one's definitely giving me more purple vibes, more like lilac lavender, with like a twist, because we have lots of those colorful flakies in there. And when I say colorful, I mean like black, red, and purple. But something about it, it just screams like fun party to me, because we have this like more neutral, like lighter shade, and then we have a lot of color with our components, and it just seems like such a fun polish. Beautiful for Valentine's Day. Again, this is another gorgeous one for the springtime, and we built up beautifully in just 2 coats. I'm going to recommend 2 coats, honestly, for all these polishes that you've seen so far, part 1, and then so far going into part 2. The formula is fantastic. And then I think my favorite part of this polish is the gold metallic flakies in here. They contrast very well against this more lighter, dustier, like purple shade. We're looking at 2 coats of Stop in the Name of Love with the glossy top coats. Next up is Royal Rendezvous, and this one's inspired by the book cover Red, White, and Royal Blue, written by Casey McQuiston. This one features pink and red metallic flakies and a tufts blue crelly base. Now this definitely is giving me patriotic vibes, but with a little bit of a spin, because it's such a lighter shade of blue. And when I think of like a patriotic polish, I always think of like the blue being a little bit darker, like a navier sort of shade. So I feel like this would still be fun to wear in the spring, and definitely for Valentine's Day too, if you're not into like your typical pinks and reds. It really is giving me like antique vibes, just because of those flakies in here, like the pink and the red flakies. It just, I don't know, I see like a very old school plate or an old school like coffee or tea mug or something like that. This one, again, a fantastic formula. It built up amazing in 2 coats, so 2 coats for everybody for this polish, but definitely a very pretty polish that I can see myself wearing, even though I'm not really big into like the baby blue, but I feel like it's a couple shades darker than like your typical baby blue shade. Pictured are 2 coats of Royal Rendezvous with the glossy top coats. Alright guys, we are heading into our 4th wing inspired polishes, our book cover inspired polishes. This one is Wingin It. Now if you love yourself a good shadow daddy, you're going to love the 4th wing series if you haven't read it already. Another series I'm freshly obsessed with because I just finished the 3rd book. But this one is called Wingin It. It features black and gunmetal hex glitters, as well as black and silver metallic flakies and a pale taupe crelly base. And this one is specifically inspired by 4th Wing, so our 1st book. Fantastic formulation. 2 coats, you guys saw that right there. I'm going to recommend 2 coats for everybody. This is such a different shade, such a different polish than the polishes that I own. And I feel like I wouldn't normally see myself wearing this sort of shade because it's more of a neutral, right? But it has this like beautiful like caramelized undertone, and then when you add all of those hex glitters in there and the metallic flakies, it adds a bit of like spunk and flair to the polish. And I really enjoyed that. So I definitely see myself wearing it. Not just because I'm obsessed with 4th Wing, but I do enjoy this polish. We're looking at 2 coats of Wingin It with the glossy top coats. And here is Steamy Storm. This one's inspired by Onyx Storm, which is the 3rd book. And man, guys. So obsessed with Xaden and the entire series. Please let me know if you've read Onyx Storm or if you're in the middle of it. Steamy Storm features black, silver, and crushed gold metallic flakies and an ash gray crelly base. I personally love gray. It is one of my favorite colors. I don't wear it enough, and I know I say that a lot, but I do enjoy the color. This one definitely had that squishier, bouncier vibe. I did build up to 2 coats on my shorter nails, and I was fine with the 2 coats. I think for this one, because it has more of a lighter base color, and a more, I feel like, crullier sort of vibe, I'm going to recommend 2 to 3 for everybody. But honestly, because of all of the flakies in here, I think 2 coats should work on everybody. But you get this beautiful, smooth, like cement gray base, and then you have these lovely flakies in the mix. Now that gold is leaning a little bit yellow, but I think it looks really nice against this lighter gray base. I definitely see the Onyx Storm book cover in this polish. Like, I am looking at it right now and I can definitely see the inspo. So spot on. We're looking at 2 coats of Steamy Storm with a glossy top coat. This one is our bonus polish. This one is called LA Strong, and proceeds of this polish, 50% of proceeds will be going to a foundation, and I'm going to leave all of that information down below for you guys so you can check it out. I am going to show a whole hand swatch because we have a lot of shiftiness in here. So LA Strong features crushed gold flakies and a blue purple color shifting aurora pigment in a Persian pink base. This one had a beautiful formula. I did build it up in 3 coats just because it had a very jelly-like finish and I wanted to get the most pigmentation that I could on my nails, and I thought 3 coats was amazing. I think my longer nail friends, you may see a tiny bit of nail line depending on how prominent your nail length is. Now looking at this, I feel like it would make an amazing topper. The base isn't super clear, so keep that in mind because it might transition or might change your base color, but I think it'll look fantastic if you did top it over something. But we do see that blue purple color shift. It is very glowy, very beautiful. I really love the gold flakies in here. It adds so much sparkle to the nail. It's a beautiful polish and it's for a great benefit. We're looking at 3 coats of LA Strong with a glossy top coat. All right, everybody, I do have a couple of favorites, a couple of standouts for me. Now, the first 2 are like, I'm gonna say 90% I absolutely love these polishes, but the other 10% is because of the inspiration. And it's of course the Fourth Wing inspired polishes. Steamy Storm, I love gray. It's one of my favorite colors. I love gray polishes. I don't wear them enough, but I do enjoy that color. And of course, I was going to enjoy this one as well. It gives me that like composition slash like speckled egg look, but the components are very fine and not choppy looking, and the formula is fantastic. All of these, the formula is really great. And then the other one called Winging It. Really enjoyed this one. Very different color than what I'm used to wearing on my nails. It sort of like matches my my top right now, but enjoyed this one for a nice like fresh look on the nails when I am tired of like my blues or something darker for like the winter. I can throw this one on, and I actually need a pedicure, so maybe this might be my pedicure next. Feelin Thorny, loved this shade. It is like that in between red and pink. It's like a red base and then it has like a dash of pink. It's like magenta, I guess, but really enjoyed this one. The components, of course, it gives me that like fine speckled look, but really it's the color that drew me in. Fury in Fantasy. This was actually my favorite book of the series, the second book, but love the color. It's sort of this like sea foamy green, but I feel like it's still very appropriate to wear like all year round. I'm a seasonal polish wearer. I like to wear polishes in all like specific seasons. I like to wear polishes in specific seasons. And this one I know would normally fit into like the spring, maybe summer category, mostly like spring, but I feel like I can wear this in the winter time too, just to sort of brighten things up. And then the last one is Frosty Flirtation. It's just this really bright, like bluebird polish, like robin's egg polish. And typically I don't go for that specific color because I tend to see them in a lot of like pastel sort of formulas. And I just don't like pastel polishes. It's just not my kind of polish. But this one, it didn't give me that pastel finish or that pastel feel. It has those beautiful components in there as well. I think I definitely want to wear this for like springtime. All right, everybody, that is all that I have for you today. Let me know if you plan on picking up any of these polishes. I know a lot of you out there are also big fans of reading. Have you read any of these books? Are you obsessed with some of them just like I am? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.